is the apartment I'm living in this summer. It's pretty nice. I set you up sort of in front of the bookshelf because that way it'll look like I'm well read. It's not even my bookshelf and those are all DVDs, but whatever. I would show you around, but it's a mess. Like, I just, for me to say that means that it is horrendous. So, I don't really know what to talk about. The fact that I have not talked to you actually, like, on the phone, I was going to say in person, but it's not, but on the phone in forever is really depressing. I feel like I have so much to tell you about Europe and about going home for Strolling of the Heifers. Did you like that face? Because that face was Europe! Strolling of the Heifers. They're very different. So interesting stuff has happened. Europe was fantastic. I'd just like to put out there that I loved London. It was by far my favorite place, and I want to go back so bad. It made me really sad because when we were in the airport, these guys decided that like flipping a coin was this ultimate magical thing. They were really bored and probably, you know, just pretty ready to get home at that point, but they would like ask it questions, and then if it landed on what you had hoped it landed on, it meant that your wish would come true, and if it didn't, you were screwed. And so instead of, they made you do it too. They were like, well, it's your turn, whatever. So they made me do it. Just instead of picking something like, oh, will I have McDonald's tonight? Which is what you're supposed to do in those things, because they don't matter. I was like, will I ever go back to live in London? And of course, the coin flipped, and Parker was like, oh no, how sad. And I was like, it's fucking depressing. So anyway, learned my lesson there. Don't make wishes about things that you actually care about. So we went to a lot of other places. There's like London, and then we went to, I'm not even going to try to get the order right because I won't remember at this point anyway, but we went to London and Brussels and The Hague and Paris and Interlaken, Switzerland and Geneva. So there's all these really beautiful places, and London and Paris were my favorite. I don't care, whatever, I'm the stereotypical American traveler. I really enjoyed it though. I never ran into David Tennant or Matt Smith or Rory, Arthur Darvill. I follow him on Twitter. He's funnier in real life than he is on Doctor Who. He's not Rory, which is nice. That's really nice. There's that, and then we went up to Strolling of the Heifers, and I don't even know what to say about that. Like, it's the same as it always is. Really freaking depressing, and you're like, why does this exist? Why do people come to this? This is cows walking down a street. They are, in fact, real cows. There are bands. There's, like, organizations. Like, who knew we had a circus school, right? Lols. So just a lot of weird things, like jump roping, and they hand out yogurt and candy, and sometimes they just throw candy on the ground and expect you to pick it up. Okay, so I took all of these people up there, and I'm sure you saw the tweet that I retweeted from Stephanie, but we're walking up the street, and I'm like, is that Penrose? And then I was like, who would come back to Brattleboro, like what, 5 years after you've graduated high school, after you don't live here anymore, and come see Strolling of the Heifers? I was like, that can't be Penn. I'm just being silly. Like, that's not Penn. We get closer, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Penrose. So I just like, look, oh, the street's so beautiful today. Like I did all through high school. Except in high school I was in love with him. Here I was just like, oh my god, what is wrong with you? And then Eliza ran out and was like, Kayleigh, she gave me a big hug, which was real sweet, and I love Eliza. Like, Eliza told me where they were gonna be, which was hilarious. I was like, well, then I know where not to go. Yeah, I turned around and looked at Stephanie, because Stephanie is like obsessed over Penrose. When she found out I knew him, like she watched me off and everything, so she knows like what he looks like and everything. She just thinks he's the greatest, like me in high school. But anyway, I turned around and I looked at her and she goes, was that Penrose? And I was like, yeah, let's go get a sandwich. Anyway, that happened. It was weird knowing so many people in the parade, because I thought I had really reached that part of my life where I would go back to the town and like not recognize anyone. And a lot of times I don't recognize anyone, but like in the parade I actually knew a lot of people, which was bizarre. Like I saw like a bunch of people in Neil's family, which is probably weird to say, but I recognized them. I had the Franklin Farm DVD, so whatevs. And Kella's dad was there, and I saw Mallory's mom from across the street, and like Mr. Rice and Ben's younger brother. It was just really bizarre. I didn't like it. That's an update on my life. Congratulations on recognizing Christian Slater. It was definitely him. And I will have to talk to you soon, and I'm going to be better about vlogging. We both have to be better about vlogging because this is the summer, so like what else do we have to do? Okay, peace out. My herpes says goodbye to you. Just kidding, it's not herpes. This is legitimately my 4th time trying to say Karen Gillan's name and have my computer not bleep me out. What in the world?